Welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're diving into a sacred observance that promises something, well, pretty extraordinary. We're talking about the power to achieve final liberation, all through the devotion of just a single day. I mean, that's a huge claim, right? Can one single day of fasting really free a soul from all its suffering and grant it entrance into a heavenly realm? Well, that is the profound promise of Bhaimi Ekadashi, also known as Jaya Ekadashi. It really makes you think about the kind of power that can be packed into just one day of focused devotion. So, where does this all come from? This story and the whole significance of this powerful day actually comes from the ancient Bhavishutara Purana. And it's set up as a conversation, a dialogue between King Yudhishthira and Lord Krishna himself. And in this conversation, Lord Krishna says something absolutely incredible. He explains that this one observance, this one day, has the power to just wipe out all kinds of sinful reactions and, get this, free a soul from what he calls the great burden of ghostly existence. Now, to really drive this point home, he doesn't just lay out the rules. Nope, he tells a story. And it's a really dramatic one. A tale of love, of duty, and a really big mistake that all started way back in the celestial kingdom of Lord Indra. Okay, so picture this. You're in a place of just pure bliss, the Nandana forest. It's filled with divine music, otherworldly beauty, the whole shebang. And Lord Indra's there, just enjoying the scene, surrounded by his celestial court and these amazing dancers known as apsaras. And right in the middle of this perfect heavenly setting, we meet our two main characters. First, there's Malayavan, a handsome musician. Then we have Pushpavati, this incredibly enchanting celestial dancer. Now, they had one job, to please Lord Indra with their performance. But, yeah, Cupid's arrows hit their mark. Their professional duty just went right out the window. They got so completely lost in each other that everything else just vanished. Well, you can bet Lord Indra noticed. Right away, their singing was off-key, their rhythm was a mess, and he was not happy. In his anger, he didn't hold back at all. He lays this terrible curse on them, banishing them from heaven and condemning them to suffer on earth as these creatures called pishachas. And just like that, their fall from grace was instant. The consequences were, well, tragic. Their entire existence got flipped upside down in that one single moment of Indra's anger. So what exactly is a pishacha? Well, it's basically a ghostly, hobgoblin-like being. The curse didn't just strip them of their beautiful forms, it took away their celestial intelligence, their senses, everything. They were just thrown into this world of absolute fear and misery. And this really shows you the stark contrast. I mean, look at this. They went from the beautiful Nandana forest to a freezing cold Himalayan peak, from enjoying heavenly food to literally starving and thirsty. Happiness and intelligence, gone, replaced with constant fear and misery. It was a complete 180 on their entire existence. But as they're suffering in this horrible state, something totally incredible happens. It seems like just sheer chance, but maybe it was something more like destiny stepping in. By some great fortune, the very day they're wandering through the snow at the absolute lowest point of their misery, it just so happens to be Jaya Ekadashi. And their suffering, it's about to become the very thing that saves them. How crazy is that? And this brings up a really fascinating concept called Ajanata Sukriti. It's this idea of unknowing spiritual merit. Think about it. It means you can get spiritual benefit from a devotional act, even if you did it completely by accident. It's a powerful idea, right? It suggests that grace can find you even when you're not looking for it. And here's how it worked. They were so miserable, so overwhelmed, that they didn't eat anything. They didn't drink any water. They were so cold they stayed awake all night, just huddled together. And without even knowing it, they had just observed a perfect, complete Ekadashi fast. So what happens next? The result is immediate and miraculous. As the next morning dawns, their ghostly forms just vanish. Poof. They're back to their beautiful celestial selves. And then a celestial airplane, a Vimana, swoops down to carry them right back to heaven. So they get back to heaven, and of course, Lord Indra is totally astonished. He's like, "How did you get free from my curse so fast?" And Malayavan explains that it wasn't because of some ritual they did on purpose. No, it was all because of the incredible power of Jaya Ekadashi. Okay, so that's a pretty powerful story, right? It really sets the stage. So now, let's talk about how devotees intentionally observe this day to get all those benefits. And the thing is, it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. People can choose how they fast based on their own strength and capacity. You can go all in with just water, which is called jalahar, or you can have only milk products or just fruits, all the way to having a single grain-free meal before sunset. But here's a really crucial point. The fast itself is only part of it. Breaking the fast, the purana, is just as important. To get the full credit, you have to do it at a very specific, appropriate time on the next day. Okay, so what happens if you mess up? What if you unintentionally break the fast? Is it all for nothing? Absolutely not. There's actually a clear path for atonement. The texts lay out some pretty clear steps you can take. It's all about getting back into that devotional mindset, things like bathing again, performing a puja to Lord Vishnu, chanting specific mantras to ask for forgiveness, and doing acts of charity. It's all about making amends and getting back on track. And to wrap it all up, Lord Krishna brings the whole conversation full circle. He tells Yudhishthira that the person who observes this fast gets the ultimate reward. They attain Vaikuntha, the spiritual world, and find eternal happiness. And get this, he also says that someone who just hears these glories, they get great merit too. So that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. If an act of devotion, done completely by accident, born out of pure misery, if that can be powerful enough to break a celestial curse and lead to liberation, what does that say about the true power of unintentional devotion, and maybe about the very nature of grace itself?